Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. My name is Jack Gofferson. That's long for Jack Goff. I'm gonna be telling you guys about the fur trade today.
Can you tell me a little bit about the fur trade, such as what happened?
Well, basically, the fur trade is an exchanging establishment between the Aboriginals and the Europeans in the 1500s. The Aboriginals would catch beavers and trade in their fur for textiles, tools, goods, and guns. What the Europeans would do with these furs is they would commercially use it to create hats, clothing, attire like that, to make more money as an industry. And it built a healthier relationship on both sides, Aboriginal and European.
Well, what do you think are some of the causes of the fur trade?
Well, it originally started as the French giving the Aboriginals gifts in a respectful manner, and it kind of just branched out from there.
To extend our hospitality.
Booyala, booyala. Booyala, booyala. Also, the Europeans knew that they could make valuable products from the furs, and it would benefit their industry remarkably. Both sides, the Aboriginals and the Europeans, wanted to establish like grounds, and they wanted peace and harmony for both their cultures. Also, both of the sides wanted to build a healthier relationship between themselves.
What effects do you think the fur trade had?
Fur trade really affected the movement of the First Nations since they had to travel a lot longer distances than usual. This affected their normal nomadic movement, and they had to spend more of their own precious time. Also, the French traded a bit differently than the others. They would go to the Aboriginal location and trade with them there. And when they went there, they used to take Aboriginal women and marry them in their own cities.
I do.
The French thought this was an act of evolving the Métis culture. Aboriginals would also spend excessive amounts of time hunting and trading. This resulted in less hunting time for themselves and less conservation for food and for their families, unlike the past. Since the natives would mainly hunt for beavers now, this led to the beaver population getting absolutely decimated. European interactions led to several diseases getting transmitted to the Aboriginals, and since the Aboriginals weren't immune to these diseases, this led to thousands of them dying. Another effect of interacting with the Europeans was that many ways and lifestyles of the Europeans were passed on to the Aboriginals. This led to the demoralization of Aboriginals, since now they would gamble, drink, and take part in sexual activities.
What do you think the Europeans were thinking in this situation?
Well, one of the main reasons the Europeans got involved was that they could use the pelts for commercial use and to benefit their industry financially. The Europeans seek to evolve the Aboriginals by teaching them their lifestyle and their ways of living, by interacting with them through the fur trade. The Europeans knew that the Aboriginals had items that they wanted, and they used the Aboriginals to get them. The French and English also knew it would be extremely beneficial for them to trade in useful and valuable items, like the beaver pelts.
What do you think the Aboriginals were thinking in this situation?
They also thought interacting with the Europeans would be beneficial since they were getting many goods and resources and tools from them. Now, the Aboriginals were spending a lot of time with the Europeans, but they were cautious about European interactions because they didn't want to lose their cultures and traditions, aka getting demoralized.
What do you think the aftermath of the fur trade is?
As I said, European interactions led to several diseases getting transmitted to the Aboriginals, which led to millions of them dying later on. Stories, news, and perspectives were spread throughout the country by the different fur trade routes and the people who were involved in the fur trade. Because of the both sides interacting so much, European ways and lifestyles were adapted by the natives. The idea of the fur trade was spread throughout the country, and beaver pelts were used to create thousands of new attire. By trading in the fur trade, the Aboriginals gained many new tools and weapons which they used later on in the future.
Oh.